Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to learn the fourth chapter of the supplementary reader. The name of the chapter is The Old Clock Shop. This lesson expresses how honest and correct ways can win over any situation. With these ways, even robbers can be tackled rightly. Here in this story, we see an old shopkeeper who, by his correct way of acting using his prudence, not only protected himself but also showed the right path to the robbers. It conveys a message of peace and good for all. So let us learn the story to understand more about it. The Old Clock Shop. Christmas Eve had arrived. As last-minute shoppers were going home, a thick white sheet of snow lay over Salt Lake City, USA. Yet the lights were still burning in the old clock shop as Ray, its old deaf owner, worked on a clock he had sold that day. The story happens in the month of December in a Christmas evening. It was a Christmas evening and it was the time to close the shops at Salt Lake City in USA. But lights in Ray's shop were on because he was repairing a clock that he had sold. Ray, the owner of the shop, was old and deaf. Having finished his work, Ray stood up and was on his way to the back room when a cold rush of air from the front door hit the back of his neck. He turned to meet the last-minute shopper, but his old wise eyes told him that this was not a shopper. He saw two men, one in his 20s, the other closer to 50. The younger man remained at the door. The older man approached the counter with no sign of friendliness in his eyes. Ray was able to hide his growing fear as he slowly pushed a notepad and a pencil across the counter. Here we see that after having finished his works, when Ray was about to go to the back room, he felt a cold wave of air touching his neck from the front door. So he turned to see the shopper who came to his shop at the last minute. But as a wise and experienced person, he noticed that they were not shoppers. He saw two men, one was young and the other was middle-aged. The younger man stopped at the door and the middle-aged came to the counter. His eyes were reflecting the cruelty of his heart. But somehow Ray wisely hid his fear and slowly pushed a notepad and a pencil towards them. He smiled at the unfriendly face, then pointed to his ears and shook his head from side to side. A quick look of surprise changed the man's face as he studied the notepad, then turned and said something to his friend. Ray used the chance to look closely at the man, paying attention to the shape of a gun and restless hand in the man's right coat pocket. Anger boiled within him, but it was kept down by inner voice that said, "Be still." He wrote on the notepad, "May I help you?" For the first time, the older man looked directly at Ray and smiled, a cruel, mocking smile. They both understood why he was there, why his friend remained at the door. They looked like men who were down on their luck and were now ready to try something they would be later sorry about. Now the information on the notepad brought change on the man's face. He smiled and then, with his gestures pointing to his ears and shaking his head from one side to another, told the other man that the shopkeeper was deaf. And this gave Ray some time to look and examine the man closely. He observed the shape of the gun and his hand movement in his coat's right pocket. Ray was feeling angry inside, but his wisdom asked him to cool down and be still. Ray asked the man writing on notepad if he could help him. With this, the man looked straight at Ray and smiled. It was a cruel smile, as if making fun of something. They understood the reason for their being in the shop and of the one man standing outside at the door. Ray was looking at them as unlucky people who were trying something for which they could repent later. The clocks ticked on. Ray calmly wrote another message. "Have you come to pick up a clock or watch?" Then he pointed to the lawn board filled with hanging clocks and pocket watches. He was not a pawnbroker, but at the same time couldn't say no to the needy people who placed their old watches or clocks before him for anything they could get. He loaned more than he should. They would be there when the owners wanted them back at the same price he had paid with no interest. Now Ray knew at heart that these visitors were in need of money. Ray quietly asked, writing a message, if they had come to take a clock or watch. Understanding their need, Ray also pointed to the lawn board filled with hanging clocks and pocket watches to tell them that he gave money as loan in exchange for people's old watches and clocks. He was not a man who gave money to people to take some security in return or earn interest. Rather, he did all that to help needy people. It was because of his helping and kind nature. Then the older man seemed to feel little easier, took out his hand from his pocket and quickly looked at the watch on his wrist. "How much will you give me for this?" the man wrote. Ray noticed a little shame in the grey eyes looking at him. The watch was nothing special and yet had great powers. It was something to exchange, a way out of a bad situation. Knowing that great need had brought the man to his shop in the first place, Ray asked, "How much do you need for it?" The reply came back on the notepad, "Whatever it's worth." Now the older man understood the situation has become quite easier. He looked at his watch on his wrist and asked Ray what price he could offer him for that. And Ray felt that the man was little ashamed. The watch was not of great worth, but it was special because with this Ray could turn around a bad situation and come out of it safely. Understanding that man's need and helplessness, because of which he was into such a bad act, Ray asked him what was his need. The man replied to Ray, writing on the pad, that he should pay whatever was the worth of the watch. Ray reached into his cash box, pulled out a $50 note and passed it into the man's hand. As they shook hands, Ray looked into the man's eyes. They seemed to say, "Thank you." They both knew the watch wasn't worth that much. Before turning to leave, the man wrote, "I will be back to pick it up as soon as I can. Merry Christmas." Now Ray opened his cash box and took out a $50 note and handed it to the man, and he became very happy. The man expressed gratitude. Both of them knew that the watch was not of that high price. Before leaving, the man said that he would be back to take his watch as soon as possible and wished him Merry Christmas. The little story ended on the half hour with the clock striking all together. The timepieces, which had been looking on silently all the while, rang out the time with such feeling that even Ray thought that he could hear them. Their sweet musical message was filled with hope. The timeless message of peace on earth, goodwill towards all, was felt by the three men who stood in the clock shop. Now the small story ended on the half hour with the clocks. They all strike that particular time together, witnessing the whole incident. Their musical striking bells produced a music which spread a message of hope and peace. The music was so sweet and impactful that it seemed as if even deaf ears of Ray were also able to feel it. The sweet and hope-filled message of goodwill towards others and peace on earth was felt by everyone. The message of peace and goodwill spreads everywhere as the old clocks chime Merry Christmas. Here the story is complete. As I have said in the beginning, this lesson expresses how honest and correct ways can win over any situation. With these ways, even the robbers can be tackled rightly. Here we see the way Mr. Ray not only protected himself but showed the right path to the robbers as well. It conveys a message of peace and goodwill towards all. Here the chapter is complete. Hope all of you have understood. Thank you.